Chapter number 14. Hello. All right, so after this chapter, we have one more, and then we are almost done. No, then we are done. Then you guys have to present your what we call it exam, do your exam and also your presentation, right? All right, so we have this topic is leadership. The learning outcomes are basically very simple. We explain what leadership is, describe who leaders are and what effective leaders do. We also explain um, Fiedler's contingency theory and explain Hersey's and Blanchard's situational leadership theories. We are also going to go forward with outline the steps of how path goal theory works and explain the normative theory. We're also going to be explaining other leadership theories such as what charismatic transformative leadership theories and so on and so forth. All right, so you have the PowerPoint and let's you have the PowerPoint, and so you have access to it. But I just want to give you, a brief breakdown of everything. So we started off by saying what management is, right? Manager is somebody who gets things done through others, right? Effectively and efficiently. So managers, they um they they know their organizational goals and they work towards it. They work towards what achieving the organizational goals effectively and efficiently. Leadership, on the other hand, is a process of influencing others, all right, influencing others to get job done. Okay, there is there are huge differences. Okay, to influence somebody is to get somebody to change their character, to even change their personality. Yeah, so that is a very big deal, right? So if you are lazy, if you come to work late, if you're not organized, you're not hard working, which is the same thing as lazy, um, a, a leader can inspire you, or a leader can influence you to change your character. If you are, let's say, not achievement oriented, you just, such a person who just, go with the flow, um, they can get you to change your character. All right. So how do they influence you? You are influenced by what? There are two ways: to motivate you, to inspire you. To inspire you is just to give you an urge to do something. So I'm inspired. I'm inspired to go to school, right? I'm inspired to to get an A, to make all good grades, right? It's just that the leader put something in me, which inspired me. But then when it's motivation, um, I'm giving a reason. I'm giving a reason. So I'm telling you that hey, when you graduate, you're gonna get a good job. So I'm giving you a reason, or even I'm giving you some money to say that hey, so go to school. This is what So two things that they do, um, and so leaders, of course, are very important, right? Are they more important than managers? No, they're not. All right, because a leader can be a manager at the same time. There is no thin line, but most of the time, in an organizational setting, what do we have? We have CEO as the leader. We have the board of directors. We also have what the chief financial officer, the chief investment or the chief economics officer, right? Chief what you call operations officer. So these constitute what the leadership team. All right. Leaders are more of a change agent, right? They lead change. They are visionaries. All right. They determine the future. They think forward ahead of everybody, and they know that they kind of have an idea, or create a bright future, because the future is where you're going to spend the rest of your life, right? And so that is basically the essence of management, to make things good now, and also um, for the the future. So so they encourage people to be creative, to be innovative. All right. They set what long-term goals. All right. These are, uh, leadership is very crucial to every organization and to every country. Now, if um, an organization is not doing well now, right? You know, you know that there is a leadership problem for the most part, right? Because a leader can come in and change things. Now, if a country is so bad, tell me who their leaders are. That's all that's all I gotta know. That's all you gotta know. If a community is not doing well, just point fingers at the leader. Or just try to know who the leaders are, and you're gonna know exactly what the problem is. You're gonna know the problem with their leadership styles, or who they are, what they focus on as leaders. They're probably not visionaries, right? Or they're probably not change agents. They're not creative. They don't inspire innovation, right? They just there. They love this, the way things are. They engage in what, so many other things that are not good. So, what is the difference between a leader and a manager? Like I said, leaders what get things done through people, right? In an organization, managers are more in an organizational setting, right? You know, so managers are more concerned with what? With production, with productivity, with efficiency of production, right? They are they're not change agents. They love the status quo. So managers ask the question, how should we get things done? All right, how should we get things done? They are focused on short term, the short term. um, More or less they are planners, right? Remember what we talked about. They are planners. They organize people to get the job done, okay? But then managers could also be leaders, though. What is it that leaders do? Like I said, they are change agents. They are visionaries, okay? They are also missionaries. So they create the purpose for your existence today, and they also create the purpose for your future existence. Why we should be. So they ask the question, what should we be doing? All right? What should we be doing? Whilst managers ask the question, how should we get these things done? How should we do it? All right. So leaders see the bigger picture. They see the broad picture. They strategize. Strategy is a what? Strategy is a master plan, right? And so this is who leaders are. So how do we know you are a good leader? Like I said, there are so many things. There are certain traits that constitutes that make people good leaders, all which we found in so many a good leader. So most leaders have self confidence, right? Yep, they have self confidence. They are self confident. They are visionaries. If you see somebody talking, you're talking to somebody, they're always thinking, okay, so what are we gonna do? So I mean, why are we here? So in the future, we're gonna be doing this in the future, right? That is a straight up leader. All right, they have certain characteristics. They have the drive, the urge. They want things. They want to solve problems. Right? They're problem solvers. They're never satisfied with one thing. You always want to change things, even if things are going on well. They want to experiment with it and change it, and with the idea of making things what better, better. That is the whole thing. Um, of course, a leader has to be what, emotionally stable. We cannot have a leader who, who gets so worked up. Any little thing you angry. Any little thing you are what, depressed. You are overly excited. No, you have to be even keeled. All right. Remember, the pilot that I talked about in the previous lecture, Sullenberger, right? He had to control his emotions, because if you don't control your emotions, you're not going to be able to think very well. Yep, your emotions go with your thinking, right? And that brings me to another point. You have to have what, high level of cognitive ability, high level of mental ability. You have to have knowledge. You have to be understanding. All right. Um, you have to be what, logical. You have to be reasoning. Basically, you have to have the sense of reason. You have to know things. You have to know things. You cannot be a stupid person, excuse me to say, or a dumb person, and expect to be a good leader. How are you going to make the best decisions, right? No leader is is ignorant. You have to have a high IQ. Okay, you have to have a high IQ. You have to communicate effectively. Have I said that already? You have to have the desire to lead, and you also have to be honest. Be honest. Be honest and have a high level of integrity. Now you have certain people who are walking around thinking that they are leaders, they are leaders of bad things. No, that is not, that is not leadership. That's bad leadership. But then again, um, we want to view leadership only in the positive light. And so whatever you're doing, that is bad. That you have people following you. Of course, a leader has to have people follow them, right? So, um, and so, if you are honest and you are a person of integrity, what happens? You become trustworthy. Okay. So if you are trustworthy, that is when people want to what, follow your lead. That is when people want you to what, to inspire them, to motivate them. That's when people want you to come in their lives and solve problems for them, right? That is yeah, so leader has to be what, trustworthy. You don't say one thing and go do something else. My leader told me not to be doing this, and then I see him. Oh my God, look at what he's doing. God, you are an unethical person. You cannot be a leader. All right. Under normal circumstances, nobody's supposed to be following you. All right. But you have these, like I said, there are some negative people who have become leaders of so many countries, and I mean, look at what happened to their countries. If you look at what Adolf Hitler and stuff, look at eventually, look at what happened. You know, um, Stalin of Russia. They do so many bad things, and they mess up the lives of so many people, and it looks like people can't even get out of it. That is not that is just a bad aspect of leadership. um, and with organizations, they run the organization to the ground. All right, they run the organization to the ground. So here we more focus on what, on good leadership, which is characterized by what, high level of honesty and high level of what, integrity. All right, and having a good vision for the future. All right. So we have what we call, with characteristics, came there are people who are introverts, right, and there are people who are extroverts. So who do you think makes a good leader? Is it an introverted person, the person who is thoughtful, is quiet, is inspired by what? by ideas, or the person who is gregarious, who's outgoing, who's sociable, want to talk to everybody, right? Who makes a good leader? It's gonna surprise you that 40% of all leaders, in American organizations and even the presidency, say that they are introverts, or they were introverts. Once an introvert, you're always an introvert. I don't. Well, you can grow out of it, but the best known introvert was who? Was Abraham Lincoln. Yep, Abraham Lincoln said that he is an introvert, and he's well known for that. But then again, that don't mean that they cannot be good leaders. Barack Obama says he's a good leader. I mean, he's an introvert because he's very thoughtful. All right, they don't just come out and speak. Before they come out to speak, to say anything, oh, it is very, very carefully thought out. They just sit and think about things very well before they come out to say one word. The one word to use is carefully thought out, right? Elon Musk is what he said. He was a very shy person, but now he's at a point in his life where he's become more gregarious. But that is who he is. Even Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, see where they are. You know what I'm saying? Thoughtfulness, having an idea, being there, being quiet, inspires what? Inspires your thoughts. It makes you become more creative. All right. All right. So what else do we do? So I'm going to ask you a question um, about these things. But how do leaders behave in an organization, most specifically, or everywhere else? They we know their character, right? And with their character, you can easily determine how they behave, right? But that is not the case. Here's a case that we have two things here. They behave either um, either employee centered, right, or job centered. So either they focus on people or they focus on the job, all right? Either they are employee centered or they are what? Job centered. Or either they are employee focused or job focused. All right. So a job focused leader is a person who likes to set goals and get people to, get things done. They are more of problem solvers. And then they are more concerned with what? Production. So you can say that more some like management, managers uh are leaders too, like I said, right? um you know, in real life you can't say that I'm this and I'm not that, right? Everybody, let's say, your personality is a what? It's a set of values, all right, set of what? Characteristics. So it's not just one. So you can't be this or that. You can be so many things, but you can be more of that, less of that, something like that. That is how things work in real life. So we cannot have just a leader who's just, oh, I'm focused on the job and I'm not focused on people. No. But you can have somebody who's more focused on what? People, and somebody else who's more focused on the job and set goals and stuff. And the people who are the leaders who are more centered on people, what do? They listen. They are helpful. They are reasonable. They are sympathetic. They easily jump to your aid. They easily defend you. All right. They want to ask you every day, are you all right? Is this good for you? Is this, I mean, what do you want to do? You need some time for yourself? But then the job center people, let's go. We have a job to do. We got to get this done. This is the goal. This is the mission. This is your target. We have to increase sales. They don't. That is how it is. So a combination of both, it makes you what? A good, an excellent leader. So um, so based on how leaders behave, right? That is whether they are employee centered or job centered. We, we come up with so many theories about leadership. All right. What is a theory? A theory is a simplification of reality. So these are conceptual. These are concepts that um, make us be able to explain things, understand things, and also predict things. All right. Yep. So we use theory to help us what understand things. They are what a simplification of reality. And so the first theory is the trait theory, which states simply that leaders have what certain traits, certain characteristics. They have certain personalities, which we've talked about, right? You are either an introvert or an extrovert, or you are a conscientious person. That is, you are hardworking, you are very organized, or you are very prepared. You are self-achieving, or what you are emotionally unstable. You're not self-confident, right? So they said that you know leaders what exhibit certain characteristics, and so they believe that based on that leaders are born and not made. So you know you either a born leader or you're not. I mean, you understand what I'm saying. So you're born to be a leader or you cannot be a leader. But then, people have a problem with that because some people can also go to school or, work under certain people. And through that, they become what? Good leaders. They learn um, how to become effective leaders. They learn how to be visionaries. They learn knowledge, right, to be able to lead the people. They learn about how to solve problems. That's why people go to school in the first place, right? So, um, yeah. So, are leaders born or made? So that is what a trait theory is about. And then, so the second theory is situational theory. This situational theory assumes that the effectiveness of a leader depends on the situation. All right, if the situation is, let's say, people are taking advantage of certain people in a community, a leader can arise out of it and handle that situation. They have that skill set to solve problems. Let's say Martin Luther King was more or less a situational leader because there was um, a situation, and so his leadership style is more of a what of a problem solving kind of person. Um, People focused or employee, in this case, employee people focused or people centered, right? So situational theories are what they assume that the effectiveness of any leader depends on the situation. We have four situational theories. All right. Number one, it is Fiedler's contingency theory. He says that match a leadership style with a given situation. All right. He's a match a leadership style with a given situation. So, if your leadership style is more or less an effective communicator, you can be be a president. You can be what you call it a ceremonial leader, right? If your leadership style is more or less hands on, I'm job centered. I want to solve problems. I'm just there working too with the people. There is this situation where the president, former president of Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America, his name is O'Neill, under the George Bush administration, he was um, And they took him from Alcoa, being the CEO of Alcoa, and they made him Treasury Secretary. Now, the bottom line is he messed up. He didn't fit there because he was more or less, um, you know, focused on a particular thing, which was in Alcoa. He was focused on safety issues. So he was solving the problems of safety, and safety arises all the time when you're working with, aluminum and metals and stuff, right? So when they put him at a um, treasury department, he went to ask about safety issues and safety concerns around there, and they were like, okay, hey, the only safety issue here is, if we get a paper cut, if a paper cuts our hands or something. So this is not, your thing, So eventually, he came against, whatever was proposed by George Bush and stuff, and they got rid of him. All right. We also have the Hersey and Blanchard situational leadership. All right, which is that the leader should match the job performance, of the job performance readiness of their employees, right? And under that, we have job readiness, the job performance readiness. So under job performance readiness, we have what job readiness, and we have psychological what readiness. So job readiness is your ability to do the job. Whether you just got hired, you don't know how to do the job. So that means what the leader has to adapt to you and coach you, right? Walk you through step by step, try to, coach you and stuff. But then what the psychological readiness is more or less, your self confidence, right? Your self confidence, your ability, your ability to get things done when nobody is around. They can delegate responsibility to you. So the leader has to adapt their style to fit you. Okay. So when I'm instilling confidence in somebody, all I have to do is just inspire the person. I know the person can do the job, right? That's not an issue. Or they can create something real beautiful, but then they have certain psychological problems. And so here's when I come in and try to challenge you. I try to push you, right? Try to what? Inspire you. Hey, I know you can do it. I know you're the best person. Listen, ain't nobody better than you. Look at what I know you're capable of doing it, right? So that so you have to adapt to that situation. All right. All right. So path goal is number three. As a leader, um, you have to be able to clear the path. That is, we're still talking about situational leadership theories. All right. So you have to adapt to this situation. In this case, um, clear the path for employees to be able to attain what the organizational goals. And how do you clear the path? You first of all give them what job security, and so they don't have to be worried about it, the future. Oh, am I still going to stay here or not? Right? Am I going to be here or not? And then you also have to be able to like give them rewards, right? Get rid of all internal conflicts, all right, so that you give them a conducive atmosphere to be able to get the job done. Be also what supportive. Be supportive of what they're doing. If you want to criticize constructively. That gives them what the autonomy. Uh, Also, yeah, that gives them the um, autonomy to be able to get the job done. Okay, you also have to give them clear targets, of course, which is basically MBO, right? Um, um, with MBO, management by objective, you are giving everybody a target. So let's say I give Terrence, hey, I need you to increase production here, and then I give Aaron, I need you to increase sales by 10%. Richard, I need you to see to it that um, everybody is coming in at the right time and doing that. So you have targets. That is what management by objective is. All right. And number four under situational theories is normative theory, which is how much you want employees involved in the decision making process. So more or less you are empowering. Empowering is what? Delegating responsibilities to or decision making and responsibilities to um, your subordinates. It's a form of what? Job empowerment. So are you going to adapt certain situations? Um, you know, in this situation, we have three scenarios. Whether you become an autocratic leader, or consultative leader, which is also democratic leader, or you make decisions with the group. So in what cases are you gonna be an autocratic leader who doesn't delegate responsibility at all? Yeah, the need arises where you just have to go on with it. There's no need for you to be delegating what the decision making process or trying to get people together to make that decision. No, you're the leader. Make the decision and move forward. There's a nuclear threat. What are you gonna do now? You gotta see this person. There is a war. Make that decision. So in emergency situations, you become an autocratic leader, whether you like it or not. All right. This is what I want you all to understand. In manufacturing companies, the leaders are autocratic because manufacturing is just okay. It's more scientific, right? I just want you to do this, do this, do that. That's it. All right. We are not making any other decisions. We producing this. We produce, this number of units per shift, and that's all there is to it. What else is there to do? The future, I'm going to be thinking about adding more stuff, improving technology. So managers who are in manufacturing companies are more um, autocratic. Managers who are work in emergency situations, let's say the fire department, there's fire, go. I'm giving you instructions. There's no need for me to sit down and make decisions with you. Come to the table. Let's decide. No, this is an emergency situation. In the military, it's autocratic. There's a chain of command, right? Because we got to go to war, we don't have time to be listening to everybody's opinion. All right. But then in certain situations, like service um, industry, right, where there is parity of skills, all right, you have the um, investment, what you call it, chief investment expert. You have the economist. You have the financial expert. You have the accounting expert, right? You have the human resource expert. You have to bring all of them together to make that decision. And also in certain situations, you have to get the employees to involve, especially in planning, as we talked about. So that makes planning very effective. So you either autocratic, you either consultative, or you make decisions. You make group decisions. So that's the third one. Group decisions is the third one where you get everybody else involved. All right. Um. All right. So from there are other um theories. Okay, there are other theories in leadership which has helped us understand what leadership. All right, the first one that I want to talk about is visionary. Being a visionary, which we all know who a visionary is, right? Visionary leadership. It's a leader who's concerned about the future, right? Somebody, let's say Elon Musk is a very good visionary leader because he's the one who's creating all these EV vehicles, which we're gonna, well, which is our future. We're going into the future, so we're getting rid of these combustible engines, right? Gas. Um, this is how things are. Things don't stay the same, right? We try to build on it. If things stay the same, then we will still have um, the our home phones. We wouldn't have cell phones. Um, Toyota is trying to come up with what flying cars. That the leader, I forgot the leader's name, a Japanese guy, but he's also a futuristic, right? He's thinking about what the future, right? Apple, they are very all right. So we also have what charismatic leadership. All right, somebody um, with a charisma is a person who people gravitate towards, right? People feel a strong bond within, um, you know, with that person. So they take the person's word to be the gospel truth, you and people have the ability. People are just somebody like Ronald Reagan, right? If he's speaking, people stop whatever they're doing and want to listen to him. He is that charismatic. He can make people believe that they are in a very strong bond with him, a strong relationship with him, and his every word is taken to be the truth. Winston Churchill, right, is also that charismatic leader. Charismatic leadership can be ethical and unethical. Guys know what I'm about. You know what I'm saying. Um, the Adolf Hitler was considered a charismatic leader because people formed a very strong bond with him. But then it was what um, negative. Those unethical, charismatic leaders, they they love glory. They take all the glory from you, and then they blame others if things don't go well. Um, all right, so we also have what a transformational leadership. Transformational leader, is a person who can get you to do things that you don't even know that you are capable of doing. So they're gonna get you to go above and beyond the call of duty. All right, they are very inspirational. They get you to transform yourself to become a better version of you. So you accomplish things. You run through the wall for them and stuff like that. All right. There are components of transformational leadership, and this is what idealized influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. All right, these components. Okay, so with idealized influence, it just means that the leader becomes some sort of a role model, right? So they look at you and they also change their character and do things the way you, the leader, does things, right? Also, so the second one is what inspirational motivation. All right, so inspire and motivate, right? You give the person what the urge, to do something. Then motivate is what give the person a reason. So you combine that, and that is what that means. Intellectual stimulation, you are able to appeal to people's what cognitive abilities. Like give them a reason, give them a reason with them, be logical with them, and then they are gonna respond. All right. Hey, if we are able to get move our business to so many other countries, listen, You're gonna become the manager here. You're gonna be making a whole lot of money, right? So it is what intellectual, some sort of intellectual stimulation to get people to act right or to do the right thing. Individualized consideration and the transformational leadership is, focusing on one person at a time. So you're not brushing, you're not treating everybody, let's say, the same. Okay, hey, I've heard all your complaints, right? This is the solution to it. No, I'm treating everybody as an individual. What is your problem? What can we do for you, to get you going, right? Okay, with you. So I'm talking to you one on one, right? Dealing with you, handling your problems. And then after that, I'm going to go to somebody else. I'm going to go to, so you treat everybody as an individual. All right. We also have transactional leadership. Transactional leadership is also known as managerial leadership, which is more or less an exchange process. So it's like you do this for me, I give you this. You come in, you work for me, right, for 8 hours a day, and I'm gonna pay you what, $200 that day. And if things are profitable, I'm gonna add some to it. That's all there is to it. That is the negotiation. That is a transactional leader. So more or less, they are what? They're giving you a reason to do right, to do things. So if you are not able to work very well, hard, then you're not going to get a profit. And if you are not able to work for that 8 hours, then you're not going to get paid, right? You have to be there. So they give you it's an exchange process, transactions, right? You give me this, I give you that. So that is a transactional leader is also known as what? A managerial kind of leadership. All right, so we also under that we have so many other leaderships. What you call it? Styles. We have leadership style. We have the autocratic, or it's also called authoritarian, which I've already explained. We have the laissez-faire management, where laissez-faire management or laissez-faire leadership style, where the leader is detached. They just stay back and let everybody do whatever they're doing. They come in and contribute little, or when there is some ceremonial or there's a crisis, that's when you see them. So they basically empower people. you know they give them the responsibility. They give them the decision making, and they just sit back. Most of these entrepreneurs are sort of laissez-faire um, money leaders. Okay, I can if you go into some industry, let's say I have some money and I invest and I buy an investment, what you call it, a tech company. Well, I'm not an engineer, so what do I do? So I kind of lay back a little bit. You know, that is laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means what? No influence. It's a French word, but here's a case where in reality, you are the leader, just has very little influence when necessary. All right. And then we also have democratic, which is the same thing as what? Consultative, right? Where the decision making are done by a group of people. A leader can just go to anybody, even a janitor, excuse me to say, um, you know, um, and say, hey, what do you think about this? Oh, okay, 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 okay. Those are, that's a kind of, leadership style that I personally like. Know what people also think, because you're not the only one who has all the knowledge. You'd be surprised what people can tell you. And then you go like, oh, really? Why didn't I think of this? Right? You also have what we call servant leadership. A servant leader is more or less, a hybrid. If we want to look at it from the job focused or employee focused, right? Or people focused. Um, if you want to look at it that way, because a servant leader is a person who comes in to solve a particular problem, right? Martin Luther King came in to solve a particular problem, right? Nelson Mandela, most of these leaders in native, um, um, you know, in Native American history, they stood up and fought. They stood up and fought, um, you know, injustices, right, that were being perpetrated on them. So they were more or less servant leadership leaders. So they come in to solve a particular problem that people have, right, and build what harmonious relationships with people. They want people to live in harmony. All right. So we don't want segregation. We want desegregation. Everybody got to come together. Um, and stuff. We want peace. So just go ahead. Let's negotiate, right? Let's do what we got to do. I'm leading this charge, all right? We also have paternalistic or maternalistic. So paternal, like being a parent, right? Being a, um, more or less being a father, and then maternalistic is being a mother. So, you know, you know, as a father, how you attend to your kids. You more or less make sure that they are you provide them with what they want, right? Not necessarily everything that they want, but you have to know what is good and bad for them. So that is the kind of leader that you. But then you are always what helpful, to them. You are supportive of them. You inspire them to do what great things. You care about their well-being, right? If they are somewhere and they're not being able to get home, or they need anything, here you come as the father or as the mother, right? So that is the kind of leadership style. Somebody told me, one of my students in the past, they told me about this paternal leadership by you know um, a person who they work with, and my God, he was all over the place helping them out. And when he did that, he was able to get the best out of them. All right. When their car broke down, he gave them, he immediately went out there to pick them up. When they needed somebody to sign to help them out to get a car, he was there. Whatever, when they are being thrown out of the apartment, no, he was there trying to help them out, solve that problem. All right. So why? You know, and I know, um, you have to know the problems that your employees are facing so that you can what? Eliminate it so they can be focused on whatever job they are doing. All right. So that ends our lecture for today. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and we're gonna go from there. From here, we have only one more, and we're done. All right. So y'all take care. Be good. On we go. We're gonna finish soon. All right. Bye bye.